Hello everyone, it's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokpe Mark Odige and I'm so excited to be here. YK in the building. Looking very colorful.
Thank you.
I've not seen you this week. I don't know what they did with this show.
My blouse is actually extremely sexy. Mariah saw me this morning and said, "Yeah, YK." I said, don't worry. I'm prepared. Meanwhile, I want to rant. Two things. When I come into this studio in the mornings now, I am suffering. Oh, food is smelling here and they're not giving us to eat. So I'm ranting. Please just share my own portion because I come in very hungry. In fact, when I start watching it from upstairs, hunger, they catch me from upstairs. I can't come down, they smell, they envelope me. The second rant is, I think I'm very sad that when foreigners married to Nigerians cannot get Nigerian visa. Not even Nigerian visa. They can't stay here. This guy I know has been working in Nigeria for over 35 years through the French Embassy, French Cultural Center, and now they're not giving him. He has had to leave. He has his wife and children here. They've been married for over 20 years, or over 30 years.
That's something for Ministry of...
That's a normal, very easy transition.
Now, marriage, you can become citizen by marriage.
They've refused. The guy has had to leave. So he sent a text to all his friends, sorry, he's had to leave. And I was like, in fact, I can't even name the woman who was the customs immigration woman. And I think it's very bad. We discourage people from coming to this country.
And we want businesses. Really sad. But I think it's something that our Minister of Foreign Affairs can look into. Ministry of the Special Advisor on Diaspora Matters can look into.
We should also call Nigerian Embassy to even find out what are the terms and conditions of foreigners coming into.
Yes, and getting
naturalized through marriage. It's a normal thing everywhere in the world. Nima, how you doing?
I'm taking it for granted that it was a simple thing. Okay, yesterday myself, Tokpe and Jumoke went for a training on media reporting domestic violence and sexual abuses yesterday at the Ministry of Justice. Thank you, Lola, for having us, and it was a very, very enlightening training for me. We learned that, you know, the first call is no longer, you don't have to come all the way to Ikeja now. When you have a sexual abuse case, the first place you need to go is the primary health care within your local government, which is, you know, everywhere. They are multiplied everywhere in every local government. They've been trained, you know, on they have rape kits. They've been trained on how to, you know, to take care of the victim, to get evidence intact for prosecution, so that we don't fail. Our prosecution doesn't fail from beginning.
And I enjoyed the session from the PRO.
The police PRO, Mrs. Dolapo
Badmos. She was awesome, as in she owned it. She broke down what the expectation is from journalists on how to report. She broke down what the expectation is from the police on how you should, journalists should coordinate themselves when they are around a survivor, and don't make them feel worse than what they've been through. I think we need to have more things like that.
They also taught us about how to couch your headlines such that you don't defeat prosecution. They cited the Falomo mass rape case, but it was reported in a way that the victims were not willing to be witnesses in the prosecution.
Uwa, I love the butterflies.
Thank you, Umi, in the wardrobe room. And Madam has taken over the banter time, so I think we need to move on.
But
it was worth it.
Uwa is running around for the event and every small matter. It is well. God is your muscle.
Amen.
Coming up after the short break is newspaper review. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. As we take the front page review, today we're starting with The Guardian. First of its kind. Governor's silence after meeting Buhari in London. Shielded from main building, kept in staff quarters. Group flays spending on visits. Another 6 medical panel. And in other news we have, Senate rejects power devolution. Affirmative action for women. AGF, EFCC differ over intra-agencies cooperation in corruption cases. Army court sentences 3 soldiers to 33 years imprisonment. And Oshibajo inaugurates tasks new ministers on national development. So, Buhari's meeting, governor silent. I know that in other newspapers we have governor speaking, so I'm wondering about governors being silent.
Sensationalizing and all that. We'll talk about it when we take Umeyi in the other. Maybe
so we move on to the Punch.
Osinbajo has sworn in the 2 ministers representing the one that died, Ocholi. Yeah. And
so we move on to the Punch.
Mohammed.
Senate seeks immunity for members, reject power devolution, okays independent candidacy, financial autonomy for local governments. Afenifere says, Senate missed the opportunity to save Nigeria. Other news, Boko Haram kills 9 soldiers, troops rescue NNPC staff. Husband of 4 dies in sex romp with mistress. 8 bodies recovered from Lagos collapsed building. Buhari's recovery is a miracle, says Governor Umehi. And you can miss the picture. People wanted him to stand, and now we have a picture of him standing.
And even shaking hands.
And shaking hands. So it wasn't just sitting anymore. The governor's meeting with the President Buhari in London.
I wanted to take the story of the collapsed building as a follow-up from what we discussed yesterday. And really sad because as of yesterday, they said they finally got to the ground level and they found 6 more bodies. You know, they had found 2 bodies at first, so they found 6 more bodies, you know. And from the report, remember we mentioned yesterday that some of these buildings, these buildings, they are not structured to go, you know, to other levels. And interestingly, they said this building has been about, it's been built about 40 years ago. As a bungalow. Then over the years, they started increasing, what's it called, different floors. And, you know, it's really sad. I think this is just a wake-up call to tell our people that are in charge of building permits and all that. You know, that's what you're being paid for.
You're supposed to supervise.
Continuous monitoring is important.
But what had happened was 2 weeks ago.
They had erected a mast. Yes,
and that's what.
And those masts get permission. So that's, I say, supervision, so that when things go wrong, you correct it immediately. We've lost 8 lives that could be prevented.
We as citizens, we should be observant. They said that close to the mast is where they put a generator, and every time the vibration from the generator shakes the building. People must have noticed that somebody should have raised alarm, and then it's not all the time that somebody is doing you bad belly because he says something is wrong on your building.
You know, we like to mystify things. Later they'll say it's the devil or it's one and mama from village.
We've lost lives
now. The landlord's son, who was responsible for everything, ran away. I beg, I need to take the story of the man
married to 4 wives and then still has a mistress. Like you already have 4 wives.
I think it was not even just a mistress; it was a lady of the night.
Hey.
His name was a middle-aged man. He had just visited one wife in Oyo State. Then he now found his mistress and took her to a hotel. And they just saw the mistress going out.
And the man was dead.
So the people, the hotel staff and some lodgers said, this man never come out since morning. No. That's how they went to check him. He was dead.
Oh, so
sometimes
sad. A bad way to die, though.
No, it's a good way to die.
YK, moving on to the nation. Moving on to the nation. Constitution reform.
Were you there with him in the room?
Constitution reform. Senate removes president's power. Bills to amend Land Use Act, others fail. EFCC recovers 328 billion naira from total MRS others. IG redeploys area commander. DPOs others. And you can't miss the picture again. I think every newspaper carries the picture of our president standing without any aid. And I'm really, really happy.
And it's very important now that we take what Governor Umeyi of Ebonyi State was saying, that, you know, when reporters called him, that how was the president when he saw him, said the state, based on what they've been hearing about the state of the president, they were shocked, and it was a miracle to see the president in that state of recovery that they saw him, that things that he has really, really recovered, things are promising, and that they hope that very soon, based on doctors' advice, he will be back in the house.
I'll recover my comments on the president too when we discuss it in the Sun. But now we move on to Vanguard. 1999 Constitution alteration. Senate votes against more powers for the states. Cuts presidential powers, okays independent candidature, gives autonomy to local governments, and Afenifere says it's futile. Federal government states owe 115 billion naira tax liabilities. I want to read the side notes. The Senate rejected delegation of Land Use Acts from Constitution, move to cede railways to states, move to cede power to regulate electricity power, move for states to collect stamp duty, move for states to establish tertiary hospitals. All this were rejected by the Senate during the, and I think they are really important things. That's what Afenifere was saying. It is a futile move. But in other news, federal government emerges with new petroleum policy again. EFCC recovers 329 billion from 9 oil firms. And the Lagos State Building collapse day 2. Death toll rises to 8. 16 rescued.
We already know that it is impossible right now for the federal government to say they want to handle electricity, what's it called, health care sector. Why would you, as a Senate, reject, you know, the move for states to own those things? And tertiary institutions, we've seen how they have failed over the years. I don't understand how somebody cannot just admit that I'm a failure, come and help me.
Which is why Afenifere was saying this is that the Senate has missed a huge opportunity to properly change Nigeria for good, because these are things we've been clamoring for a long time. Power shouldn't be centralized, you know. But I'm happy about the candidature,
the president's, dead president, resigned
no.
president.
I'm happy about the fact that you can now have private individuals contesting
individual candidacy.
The bill that was passed. A lot of bills were passed yesterday, and you know it was. I mean, I wanted to take them in the sun, so I was waiting.
So let me take it in the sun. That you let me just read the headline. Daily Sun. Constitution amendment. Senate bombshell. Successors to dead resigned president. Governors to serve 1 term. I want to read the highlights because you said I should. Highlights of amendments. Financial autonomy for state legislature. Immunity for legislators to act in course of duty. For acting course of duty. Submission of ministerial nominees, state commissioners with their portfolios. 35% affirmative action for women as ministers, commissioners. Separation of office of Attorney General from Minister or Commissioner of Justice. INEC to conduct local government elections. Good one. Independent candidacy. Another good one. Other news. Custom intercept 3 containers of live snakes. Animals in Calabar. And Okorocha, Fani Kayode fight dirty.
Waike, which one are you taking?
Okorocha. Sun is hot. Sun is
very hot. Because I have this snake story.
Yeah, quickly say that. Snake story. I will tell you Fani Kayode
now, the Controller General, I think, in Calabar, they intercepted a container. It was loaded with about 140 species of snakes. Then they had millipedes, fairy dogs, millipedes, geckos, and that container was coming in from Cameroon. So I don't know.
I don't know where it's heading towards Lagos. Heading to Lagos.
Is it going to a zoo or something?
My guess is that it's going to the port to be exported. And you know, there's a constitutional prohibition on exporting animals. So there's an animal protection.
And the container is worth $6.2, I think, billion dollars. Sorry.
So
YK, so the story about fighting dirty.
Yes, so Okorocha and I think Fani Kayode had
he did that yesterday. He attacked Okorocha yesterday.
Yes, so Okorocha answered him and said he's an over-pampered child, that he has no claim to fame except that his family, he comes from a prominent family. Yes. So I just want to read what Fani Kayode said. So he says, he countered by referring to the Imo State governor as a dirty, cheap, fat, ugly frog that mistakes himself for a monkey simply because he can hop.
Hey, can you imagine? Seriously, fighting dirty. We don't have time for this day, but we'll just read through the headlines. Restructuring suffers defeats in Senate. Lawmakers back local government autonomy. New age floor for elective offices. Others. Fear of resource control kills removal of Land Use Act from Constitution. Abducted NNPC contractors. Others rescued from Boko Haram. And that's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. When we return, we ask, who should keep mum during arguments between couples? Find out more Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. A couple of days ago, a video of Pastor Johnson Suleiman went viral where he was advising women, mostly young girls, to keep mum whenever a hot argument ensues between a husband and a wife, mostly between a man and a woman, mostly between husband and wives. You know, he said that in the heat of the problem, if you are married or single, don't talk, because anything you say at that time angers the man. However, a lot of couples keep quiet to themselves when they are mad at each other, and because of this fear of starting a potentially threatening argument, relationship-threatening argument, a new study found that avoiding conversations that are critical can do more havoc to a relationship. So we ask, should the woman keep mum during couples' arguments? As usual, you know now, Apostle Suleiman knows how to cause controversies with his statements. The video showed that he was trying to settle a family scuttle. And in between, he made the pronouncement that when couples are arguing, a woman should keep quiet. That whatever she says in anger can aggravate the situation, you know, and people have taken this from both sides and saying that, no, this is not right. Women should be able to speak up. If you don't talk when you have issues, it might lead to more crises later on because you build it in within you. And some are saying that this is what we mean. Women talk too much. This is why there's always problem in relationships, because women are talking too much. Now, I know, Nima, you have advocated on this panel that we should do fire for fire because women keep quiet too much. And when you keep quiet like that, eshikeshi will now cause problem. In Yoruba, they say if you are quiet for too long, the wrong fly will perch on you. So, Nima, are you still of the opinion?
Before Tokwe will misrepresent
me. Abio, represent yourself.
Let me represent myself. Yes, I have always said that having that conversation
is vital.
And it doesn't matter where or when. What is important is that the conversation happens, because some people will say, wait 2 days, wait 3 days. If the man is not willing to have the conversation, the problem will persist, because probably you never get closure, you never leave the matter.
So how
you
do
bottle up emotions. I see what Apostle Suleiman is doing, because really in a relationship, when you are in the course of an argument, it doesn't matter whether it is a man or a woman. Once it's tensed, the mature person should keep quiet.
So the mature person in your own case should
sometimes it could be the man. It should even be the man, because just let the other person just rant. Maybe when the energy has died down, you are done, you have said everything, you'll be more calmer to listen. If you are the one that is angered, that you're the one that is passionate about the particular issue, you are the one hot or bringing the issue in marriage, just listen to whoever it is. It doesn't matter. The mature person, it could be the man or the woman, depending on the circumstances, whoever is mature should keep quiet and listen to the other person. And I see what Apostle Suleiman is doing. We do it a lot of times in African traditional setting. It's called silencing the woman. Simple. Maintain your place. Yesterday, when we were at the domestic violence, I cited a case I'm handling. And anytime when they go to the police station, the area commander will tell the woman, you are a woman, keep quiet, kneel down and beg your man. But the woman has all the issues and she just wants to be heard. Do you know the matter persists because she just kneels down, they settle them, they go back home, and the man still beats her up to the point of stabbing her, and they never resolve issues. The things that she has, you don't empower me, you don't provide for my children, you don't want me to go working, those issues still exist. They're still in the marriage because she never gets heard.
Wike is the oldest person on this platform, and I tend to, I want to ask for your opinion on this from the place of, yes, now.
Experience.
Yes, place of experience. I'm sure you've been in cases where this kind of things would have happened. What has your advice been? What do you think has worked in most cases?
I just think that the person who is annoyed, I think it can work either way. The person who is annoyed should just, they should be allowed to vent. the other person should keep quiet, because our people say if two people are mad in the markets, and when the onlookers come, they won't know who is the mad one, because everybody has. That's why rough fight. So one person, it doesn't matter who it is, should just the one that is more annoyed should, less annoyed should just calm down, let the other person vent, and then you now discuss. Because I think with couples, we don't communicate enough. There's always a lack of communication, and Tope, you're distracting me.
So, but YK, for both of you are saying that both parties should be able to weigh options of what is going on and keep quiet one for the other. But you know, in our society, based on culture, based on religion, the job of a woman, the duty of a woman is whenever there is an argument, she should be the one to keep quiet. They bring up the verse, submit, submit, submit. Do you understand? So when you say that both parties, they look at you like, oh, you're trying to get all Western on us. Where do we draw the line between submission and stupidity, or submission and feeling cheated? Where do you draw the line? Because here they're saying keep mum, even when you're angry.
Let me use my own experience. When I'm upset, I don't talk. And you know, my husband always says that he's more dangerous. I'm more dangerous than the person that even comes out to vent. Because you know, when the person has finished venting, the thing not come up for the person in mind. My own will stay there, you know, and I would sulk in it, and you know, but I realized that it's actually not healthy. But the reason I actually do that a lot of times is because when I'm really, really angry, the kind of words I hear myself speak inside my head, I know that if I open my mouth to say it, and because words are so precious, when you throw out those words, it's gone. You can't take it back. So that's why usually I keep quiet, you know, because when I'm upset and I hear myself talk to myself, if I open my mouth and say that thing, I don't think that person will ever forgive me. You know, so
you're invariably supporting him, because that's what he said. He said things you say.
No, that's what
anger.
I'm saying. I am talking about my personal. You know, everybody have their own opinion. My mom, for instance, she's the complete opposite of me. If my mom is upset with you, she will shout and she will say everything she needs to say, and the next minute it is off her chest and she moves on as if nothing happened. She'll be wondering, when she sees you angry, she'll be wondering what's wrong with you. She has forgotten what has happened. You know, that is her personality. I think in dealing with arguments, you need to work with your personality. You know, because if for somebody like me, if I decide to open my mouth, because Waki was saying that let the person that is more angry vent. If I decide to vent, trust me, I can't take back those words. And the man, I'm sure, it will be very difficult for him to forgive me. So I think work with your personality and, you know, then deal with the situation as it concerns you personally.
Okay. We have a phone call though. I'll come back to you. Chris just called in from Abuja. First call for the day. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh,
Thank you, good morning. Well, women are keepers of the home. Women are keepers of the home. And it's important in a family where there are issues, especially between a man and a woman, for the woman to be more mature. You understand? Because most times, sometimes, from experience, you know, a man may not be that upset, but because of the way the woman keeps going on and on and on, you know, it causes issues. It results to fight or women being beaten up. I think most of the time it's better you approach the man when the issues, probably at night when he's more relaxed, and you can now, you know, let him know whatever you wanted to let him know.
Thank you, Chris. One of the complaints, Chris is highlighting something, and one of the complaints a lot of men have is that women talk too much and that they talk and they don't know when to stop. If we try to discard what Apostle Suleiman is saying, in saying that keep quiet, there's a lot of wisdom in it. That even when you're angry, your quietness will give you wisdom, because you will take out time to process what you want to say before you say it. But that's Apostle Suleiman's angle.
And the risk of never getting to say it before the damage is done. Sometimes, that's why I say based on circumstance. In my experience growing up, I know a family where, as Muslims, the man was allowed to marry 4 wives, but he couldn't provide for his immediate family, the nuclear family he had at the time. And he just wanted to, exercise his option and, enjoy himself at the expense of the family. The wife kept saying, we've been failing to take care of her. You've been failing to take care of me and the children.
And you want to bring another one.
You want to go ahead. But everybody just kept hearing jealous woman, jealous woman. Nobody heard her. Nobody was willing to listen and talk to the man. And the more she was doing it, the more she was becoming bitter, becoming, vicious in the eyes of the so-called people perceiving her. Sometimes, by the time she kept quiet and said, okay, let peace reign, the damage had been done. A new wife had come into a bad situation, worse, and made it worse. Sometimes you keep quiet when it is okay, but not at the expense of something worse happening. No.
Nima, I think you're misunderstanding because my own is not, you're not keeping quiet and you're not going to talk about it. I'm saying that in the heat of where the issue is happening, some people are not able to.
I understand that fact. I understand that fact 100%.
It's not like you keep quiet throughout your marriage.
We're talking about a long-term discussion that is spanning over a period of time, and you always being silenced.
And the research.
Now, this kind of instance I laid did not just happen short time.
Yeah.
He must have been proposing, and she would have been saying no, and nobody wants to hear because they've already judged her as jealous. Now we have different instances. I don't know the particular thing that happened here, because the woman's voice in the video wasn't coming up. But
the woman was accusing her husband of not coming close to her, and that he was impregnating women up and down. She hasn't
how
gotten
do we
pregnant.
have this conversation?
That's a major issue.
That one was a major issue. I even have a problem. I even have a problem with the approach that the man of God did. I mean, the approach he took towards that situation.
We will discuss.
That one is a serious topic for another day.
Approach down, but we have a call, YK. I'll come to you immediately after this phone call. Olawale, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. God bless you. Yeah,
thank you.
I just want to chip in one or two things. Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. We can hear you.
Yeah, long time.
Yes, so.
Yes. Whenever there is an argument, especially between a couple, okay, it is better for the man to keep quiet. Because women are naturally gifted in talking. They talk more than men.
Some women.
By the time a man utters 2 words, a woman must have uttered 10. And the man will continue to get annoyed. And it may lead to a physical. Then maybe you will remember or you recollect, ex-President Obasanjo advised men in this country that don't ever argue with a woman because you will never win the argument. So let all men keep that at the back of their mind and don't argue much with women. You can never win. God bless you.
Thank you, Olawale. On that opinion, we will take a break. When we return, we'll bring in a guest that would inform us more about this, and we'll take YK's opinion. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back. Joining us is a relationship expert, Toyin Idowu. Welcome to the show. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies.
So, you've heard what we've been saying. You've heard what Apostle Suleiman said. And also, I'm sure you're aware about the research online that when couples that avoid discussing issues because they're trying to play safe and because they're trying to avoid relationship-threatening arguments, end up having worse relationships as opposed to those that discuss it, as in you're angry, discuss it and let it go. Those people tend to have better, happier relationship than those that keep shoving it aside and thinking it will go. What's your opinion?
Okay, in the first place, let me quickly straighten out something here. for the fact that, and this I'm saying with no disrespect to the office of a pastor, there is no way you can have a pastor. If your pastor is anointed, that doesn't mean that the pastor is anointed in every other area of life. He may not be able to advise properly or counsel properly in the area of marriage. There are experts for that. There are experts for finance. So I just want people to know that, first of all. Then secondly, it's not really about who should keep quiet in an argument, because that is a little bit dangerous. But it's about teaching people to be able to have healthy and constructive argument, because argument in relationship itself it must happen. Simple. It's a must. It must happen, unless we are deceiving ourselves, unless one of the parties is not a human being. You understand? So arguments must happen in relationship, and when arguments happen in relationships, it is pointing us to a fact that there is an issue that has been misunderstood by one party or by the two, which needs to be clarified, which needs to be resolved. So now asking somebody to keep quiet is not actually doing justice to that relationship.
Mr. Toyin, once on this couch we had a lawmaker say that the reason for domestic violence is because women don't know how to hold their mouths. Now, if we must have argument, it is healthy in marriage, and the traditional thing is that no, a woman doesn't argue with her husband. You plead with him. Olowori me, my lord, please, can we do this? 2 days he's not listening, he's demanding of you, you're still saying Olowori me, my lord, can our child, this one, go to school with the other one? So you have to be pleading for things that are supposed to be normal and taken for granted. When do you have arguments? Because Africans, from what I hear,
the burden of patience is so much on the woman.
Now, when you are saying the woman should keep quiet, that when you keep talking, it angers the man more. But the woman can keep quiet so that the man can keep talking and anger the woman more.
Or frustrate her. Even
And frustrate her. And frustrate her. No, I think we should balance things up. Now, when we get to this issue you are talking about, I used to tell people, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of traditions and religious beliefs that we need to unlearn from our system. When we get to this point, we need to reparent ourselves from quite a number of things that has been passed across to us, which are not working. Now, when you say a woman should always keep quiet and cringe, now that can help in a relationship where you have slave to master relationship or boss to subordinate relationship. Yeah, the man of the house is talking. Okay, you understand? You don't have a stake, you don't have a say. I mean, you don't have an opinion of yourself in raising the children, in building up the home. Now, that is disastrous. And when you allow it to go like that, it tells on the health of the woman more than the man.
Hypertensive,
yes,
women
yes. And you see, and when things happen this way, I don't expect men to be, how do I put it now so that I don't offend some people? You understand? I don't expect men to be angry or have issues with women talking. Because naturally, the way God made women, the way God created women, you understand? Women are talkers. They are talkers naturally.
A lot of people are going to like. A lot of women will like you, and a lot of men will not like you. But I'll take YK's opinion.
We need to be objective.
Let me take YK's opinion and come back to you.
I agree with you that women are more naturally talk more naturally than men. Because if a man, I think that if a man is angry, unless the man has some female hormones lurking around, so some estrogen, then he will be a parrot. It is the woman that is actually the parrot that will talk, and it is that I think that is where Pastor Suleiman is saying, don't overtalk, because when the woman starts, because last week we covered domestic violence in men, and domestic violence in men, one of the things was that when the woman starts to talk like this, the things that will come out of her mouth, hey, the man said next thing he will hit her. You know, so that's why I think, you know, there should
balance. That's
yes,
why I said we
can't
say women shouldn't talk, but we should teach them how to talk constructively.
How
to have a conversation.
So where do we draw the line? I asked the question earlier. I said that how do we draw the line between keeping quiet or sounding or feeling stupid for a woman saying, okay, I want to submit, but am I being taken for granted? Am I being stupid here? One. Number two, where do we draw the line between encouraging women to talk and inciting violence in the relationship? Because most of the time, when men that go into violence tend to say, which is no excuse, that the woman was emotionally and verbally hurting them, and the only way they could react was to physically abuse.
Sorry, let me quickly come in there. You see, when men say that they had to hit their wives because of the things that were coming out of her, it's not the woman that is really the problem. It's the guy that needs to check himself for something. I'm not saying women should keep running their mouths. That's not what I'm saying. Women are talkers naturally.
Women run their mouths? I take offense.
No, no. I'm repeating what people are saying outside there. I'm repeating what people are saying. That's not my position. Women should talk. That one is different from women run their mouth. But women run their mouth is what is obtainable outside there. Now, when women talk like that and the guy goes and hits, do you understand? That's not the problem.
The problem with the man.
With the guy. What the woman is saying is just the woman's disposition. It's just an indication that the guy has a tendency to be a wife beater. Okay, so I'm going to cut you off at this point and take this call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello.
Babayo, thanks for calling us.
Hello.
Welcome to the show, Babayo.
Morning, ladies. How are you?
Good morning.
Very good, thank you.
We are fine, thank you.
Okay. I just want to chip in something. Okay. In a relationship where you have argument, at the end of the day, you are supposed to reconcile. And there are two conditions to it.
Is he hearing himself or what? You need to keep talking.
Oh, so sorry.
Number one, speak without offending.
Sorry, Babayo, we can't take the call.
You need to stop hearing yourself.
Yes.
You know, I want to talk from experience.
Speak without offending. So that's how I would have loved that you made the distinction between having a discussion and
an argument
and provoking in an argument. Because some women are very constructive. I've heard times when people will say, because you're a lawyer, I don't even want to hear what you want to say. Because they know that I would table that argument in a way that I'm reasoning with you and I'm questioning whatever you're saying to the point that you think, okay, this is stupid. And you have already made up your mind that this is what we are doing. And you don't know how to convince me. Do you understand? So you just be like, no, lawyer, I don't even want to hear exactly what you want to say.
So, YK?
So how do we distinguish constructive argument and a quarrel?
Okay,
you know?
Now, like I said earlier on, arguments are very necessary in relationships because it points out to the fact that something, is not going on well, which needs to be addressed. Now, when you're having a conversation or when you're having a constructive argument, do you understand? You don't evade constructive points. You understand? You don't evade objective points. For example, you are making a point, but because I'm the man, and I can see that your point is very, very genuine. Do you understand? Now, but deliberately, I'm evading it because I'm tending towards, okay, I have to win this argument. And that is what quite a lot of us do.
Trying to win.
It's trying to win. We listen to win an argument. We don't listen to get our partner's perspective on the issue.
Especially men.
Yes. Well, it's either way. No. It's either way. It depends on temperament. It depends on temperament. It depends. For example, if you are a sanguine and I'm a phlegmatic, you are
going to talk more.
You are going to talk more, definitely. You understand?
So we have a call from Samuel.
Personal experience.
We'll take your personal experience, but let's first speak to Samuel. Samuel, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Ovid actually. I actually want to chip in some things. In a relationship, I don't think women should be suggested quiet. Because they are both in the relationship, they should both have opinions.
Thank you.
Why the woman is being angry, I think the husband should be quiet. And why the husband is being angry, wife should be quiet. Actually, a case happened around my house when the husband and wife was in an hot argument. Why the husband pick up something not true to the wife? Knowing to him, he pick up their 6-month-old baby and put to the wife. And that was how they moved the child. So I don't think one person should be subjected to keeping quiet. Both should keep quiet in the right way. That was my point. Thank you.
So,
can I just quickly take some tweets? Sorry, because we are running out of time. Leroy, I prefer my wife talking to me to keeping quiet. I mean, talking to me, not barking or yelling. If dares yell at me. Sorry.
Ms. Bell says most times women use emotions and are too objective, hence why they are not heard. Idoko says any mature mind can keep mum in an argument. It could be the man or the woman. Mr. Kaz says when a pastor talks, we are quick to discuss it on TV. Is it that the imams don't talk about stuff like this?
Why do we keep whipping up religious sentiment?
This
is just
no, but let's put it in perspective.
Viral.
Apostle Suleiman is a celebrity pastor. He's always online, and you don't have an imam online that you can quote. So, and we want to address societal issues. It doesn't matter which religious leader
Nima.
it is. If you have an imam story, put it online, then we'll address it.
On that note, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back to the show. We're still discussing the woman keeping mum during arguments.
Andrew.
Andrew
is even accusing me on his, Twitter. He says, I'm just smiling. That's as Sally Peace is just smiling. Oh, yeah, talk now, waiting.
So
I just can't hit a woman. I would just walk out, or else I would do damage. Now, someone like me, when there's an argument, I'd rather keep quiet. Because I've said it before, my mindset, I need to calm down and process what I want to say so that I'm not misunderstood. What do you think is the best approach, when there's an argument? How do we resolve conflict in marriage or relationships?
Okay, first of all, you keeping quiet, that works for you. It works for your marriage because marriages are unique. You understand? And that doesn't mean that at the end of the day, you will bottle it up, you will keep quiet and be cursing your partner inwardly. You understand? You will still come back to that issue, but you will attack it in a more objective and constructive way. Now, with that, your partner will get to listen to you and you pass your message across. Now, how do we resolve conflicts in relationships? First of all, couples need to know that this is a teamwork. It's a teamwork. When couples get committed to themselves, get committed to that relationship, they will see that, okay, you have victory. Your victory is our victory. Your loss is our loss. Do you understand? Your happiness is our happiness. Do you understand? So with that, when there are issues, when there are challenges, couples can come together and reason differently, not fighting dirty, not fighting to finish, to win. Do you understand? You know that even though your partner is not reasonable at this particular point in time, your partner is not reasonable at this particular point in time about what you are saying, you know that, okay, you are in this together and we must make it work by all means.
Thank you so much. We have a phone call. Yakub, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yakub.
Yeah, good morning.
Bonjour.
Nima, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to your guest. Is it for me?
Good morning.
I think man should keep mum because the reason being that I seem to realize something in a marriage, especially I can use myself as an example. when something like fighting come at home occasionally, I decide to keep silent. And then I come to realize that by keeping silent is always paying my woman rather than talking. Because if you keep silent, woman will be, you're expecting you to say something, and then you decide not to say anything. In that case, they will be angry that this man did not say anything. In fact, I rather keep silent.
Yes.
Keep silent in a fighting. That's it. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
I'm thinking you're keeping quiet. You are not hearing what I'm saying.
Sorry, you need to address this one. Is the objective in an argument when you're quiet? Is it to anger the other person or to listen?
We
depends on the man you're dealing with.
Yes, it depends on the man you are dealing with, and it depends on your own style yourself. It depends on what you want to achieve with your quietness. I can be quiet but give you silent treatment. Do you understand? Like malice. Do you understand? Or I can begin to evade your calls or begin to send you annoying text messages. Yeah, people do it.
Is that what
I
you
wanted
do?
to ask you.
Yes, I see you are married.
Yes,
Tell me
I am.
what you do.
Okay, what I do. Okay, let me tell you. When I was getting married, my wife is like Uwa.
Will not talk.
She is on the reserved side. Do you understand? I'm the one that does the talking. So when I was getting married, I told her, because I've known the kind of person she is. I know that if I'm not careful, I will just be riding this woman. Do you understand me? So I told her, I said, I don't want to get married to a woman who will say yes to every silly thing I say. So when issues come up, I need you to speak up. So when issues come up, we're still in the process. When issues come up, I talk. Do you understand? When she's and you know, when issues happen and I tend to want to reserve, she becomes uncomfortable these days.
Because she knows that you are a talker.
Do you understand?
We
have to. So I talk. I say it out, and the moment I say it out, yes, I want the life back in the home.
If somebody like you keeps quiet, it means that you want to anger the woman, because he knows that naturally you talk. You must know who you are dealing with.
So.
Kelechi, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Kelechi, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning, lady.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Lady still on the bed.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think I why what that young man is saying over there, because he said that women should be allowed to talk. So because at times women can make some points, and we also know that sometimes we need to teach our women how to talk. I think I buy that young man is saying over there. Thank you very much.
We need to teach both parties how to talk.
Because I wanted to ask you something, because we seem to be waving towards, women, and it's natural for us to be sentimental towards our own sex. But women talk, men don't. For a relationship to work, both parties need to express themselves. Yeah. So what would you say to a man that finds it difficult to express himself?
Okay, that person, we are not saying you should talk as much as your wife does. And we are not asking you to deny your personality. What we are asking you to do is, this is your own territory. This is your home. This is your relationship. It's your life. You need to compromise a bit. Compromise is the word. You don't talk naturally, but when there are issues that need to be attended to, discuss it with your wife. Do you understand? Discuss it with your partner. Let there be a round table, let me say, meeting or so, and state it the way, you deem fit, so that there won't be stories that touch the heart at the end of the day.
Well, can I also just quickly add the approach I took, for instance, because I wasn't talking and I was bottling up a lot of things. What I started doing was, my husband is good with, like typing messages and all that. I think there are different approaches, because some people really, they cannot find the words in terms of putting the right words to say to their partners.
We're talking about communication.
Yes, I'm saying.
You should find the right word.
No, you might not be able to.
No. We try as much as possible to discipline ourselves. We need to be deliberate.
Some people are young in this matter. They've not found the right words. So can we also look for different approaches in terms of, because communication is not just words alone.
It's not just words alone. alone.
Your language, your body language, your approach to things is different ways of communication.
I agree. But the words of the mouth is equally very important too. They are the things coming from your mind, from your heart.
Okay.
And you need to say it out. We won't get there, you know, in a jiffy. But, you know, with deliberate practice. Do you understand? I want to be deliberate. I mean, I want to be deliberate about making my relationship work. These are some of the things that you need to incorporate.
Thank you so much. I've learned a lot from you. One of the things that that stood out, I wrote down some points from what you're saying, and some of the things I felt we should leave in people's minds, that when you have arguments are necessary. You said that it is important to discuss. Avoid insults while you're discussing. Avoid trying to win while you're discussing. Try to understand your partner's view. You're not talking like, just listen to me. You want to also understand what that person is saying. Avoid speaking in anger.
Are you hearing, man?
And you didn't put the last one.
And please learn to talk.
You don't have it.
Learn to talk, because I cannot read your mind, and I'm sure your partner too cannot read your mind. If you don't say it, I cannot know what is going on in your head.
We should stop assuming.
Thank you.
You should stop assuming that I know what you are going through. Say it out.
And that's all we can take on today's show. I hope you learned a lot. See you all tomorrow. Bye.